everyone, today in this video I'm going to be checking out the MSI Optix MAG342CQR. This is a 34-inch ultra-wide gaming monitor with 3440 by 1440 resolution. So we have our 21:9 aspect ratio and our UWQHD resolution. MSI did send me the sample, but any opinion expressed in this video is strictly my own. That being said, if you're interested in this monitor or you want to find out more about it, the link to it will be in the video description. Looking at the back side first, you'll see MSI logo and branding right here. We got a little venting line up at the top. We're going to tip it up. You'll be able to see our 2 HDMI ports and our display port. Power port right there. We got our audio jack as well. Next, we're going to look at a couple different UFO tests. First up is the UFO test to show us different frame rates. So again, we have 1440p at 144 hertz with 3 different frame rate values. 36 FPS at the bottom, doubling that to 72 FPS in the middle, and doubling that again to 144 FPS up at the top. The key takeaway here is to see how much smoother that footage looks going across the screen with that higher FPS value at our 144 hertz resolution versus the bottom value. That's going to be the key takeaway here. The next test is our UFO test. We're going to do this one a little bit differently with a couple different settings turned on or off. First, you'll notice the screen flickering and stuff with the camera here looking at how we currently have everything configured, but I wanted you to be able to see this with our gaming mode, and we have our anti-motion blur turned on, and let me tell you, pretty nifty what we're seeing here. That alien is perfectly in focus, very clear and crisp, but we're seeing tons of artifacts behind it. It's basically like we have 6 or 8 of those UFOs trailing off. Nothing's blurred. It's like exact copies and replicas of it when we have it turned on. So the UFO is very clear and crisp and looks really nice with this setting on, but we're seeing tons of artifacts there behind it. Now we have that setting turned off, so anti-motion blur's turned off. We are seeing more blur here. It's not as clear and crisp. Moving right along, let's look at web browsing with this monitor so you can get a feel for it in day-to-day use. When you have a 34-inch display like this, most websites are not going to be optimized for that content, so you'll see a lot of borders here like we have on YouTube with their trending page. So everything's going to be way more spread out. But look at this. Everything looks nice, very responsive. Fantastic viewing angles, even for a VA panel. Now it's time for my favorite test. We're going to be testing out the input lag on this monitor. Now keep in mind, input lag is different from response time. This has a 1 millisecond response time. Up at the top, you're seeing about 1.6 milliseconds. That's right where we want to be. Ideally even lower. Then let's go to the middle. This should be in the 8s. That's about right, 8.8, 8.9 milliseconds. And the bottom should be around 16. So you'll see we're right where we need to be, 16.2 milliseconds. And last but not least, it's time for gaming with this monitor. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten about you console gamers as well. So first you'll see we have the PlayStation 5 connected. Current resolution 2560 by 1440 at 60 hertz. But I did go through the prompts here. You'll see them down below. We tested the 1440p output option, so that's what we're getting. And we also have 120 hertz output enabled. That'll just depend on the games. But as we went through our testing here, it was compatible at 1440p and 120 hertz. And don't worry, Xbox fans, Xbox Series X connected here. You'll see 1440p with 120 hertz for our refresh rate as well.